This is the conversion scenario. The first thing you want to do after you save it is make sure you put your name at the top. Long ago, workers could use their own measurements to construct buildings and communicate with those close to them. Such is no longer the case since we live in a global economy. Those who refuse to adapt to the changing times will become less and less able to earn a living. Communicating measurements amounts to others is an important skill a successful worker will have. Because there are still different measuring systems in use, we need to be able to convert between the different systems so that we can communicate with others. Mass is the basic unit of the amount of matter in an object. When you put a mass in a gravitational field, its force gives weight to the object. When we move a mass with a force, we do work. Force times distance, which is measured in newtons. The faster that we do work, the more power we develop, because power is work divided by time. The smaller the volume an object has, the greater is its density, or mass per unit volume. Remember, if you want to watch the video, well, you're already watching it, so that's where you connect to it. The first thing it says is work. Now, if you look up above here, it says when we move the mass with a force, we do work. Force times distance, which is measured in newtons. So work is the one, excuse me, work is the one that includes newtons. Okay, so make sure you put the correct letter there. Oops, what did I do wrong? Oh. Next. Density. Well, density, it says right here, the smaller an object has, the greater its density. Density is mass per unit of volume. Then weight, it says right here, when we put a mass in a gravitational field, it gives us the weight of the object. And then the mass is the amount of matter in an object right here. It could also be its inertia. Power, it says, the faster we do our work, the more power we develop, because power is work divided by time. And then temperature, it's not listed up here, but the only letter left is temperature. All right, next. If you notice along the side here is a view of the inside front cover of your calculator that we're going to be using for the conversions down below. In this first part, you're supposed to record the indoor temperature right now. In my room right here, I believe it's 68 degrees, so I'm going to record that there. Then I'm going to use my calculator to change that into, let's see here, let's get it twice the size. I'm going to use the calculator to change that into Celsius. So the first thing I do is I type the temperature, then the conversions is shift 8. Which conversion number is temperature? We're going from Fahrenheit to Celsius, so that's number 37. Fahrenheit to Celsius, when I press equals, it comes out with what the temperature is in Celsius. Next, when visiting Canada, you see that the weather report for August 1st, the predicted temperature is 23 Celsius. What is that Fahrenheit? Well, on our calculator, we're going to convert 23 on the Celsius, shift conversion number, Celsius to Fahrenheit is number 38. And when we do, when we do, we have to S to D that, and we find out what temperature that is in Celsius, or Fahrenheit, excuse me. And then what are we going to do? Well, we have to choose the correct thing. Tell you what, I'm not so sure. I would go fishing though too. I wonder if that's, oh, just a perfect day. Isn't that true? Go fishing. Your child is sick. When the doctor measures his temperature, she tells you it's 38 Celsius. What is that Fahrenheit? So we need to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. 38. Shift conversion. Oops. 38. Shift conversion. And it's number Celsius to Fahrenheit. Number 38. And we get, which is a little bit above normal. So is the person running a fever? I would say probably. Speed limit on Claremont Avenue, 55 miles per hour. Oh, going back here to this one, if you don't have the conversion calculator, what you need to do is to solve that for Celsius. So if you notice here, it says Fahrenheit minus 32 equals 1.8 Celsius. If we take the Fahrenheit, which we said was 68, 68 minus 32 is 36. That's 1.8 Celsius. Divide both sides by 1.8, and that's where you get the Celsius is whatever that number was. I think it was 20. You have to do the same thing for switching it the other way too. Like for instance, if you were doing 23 Celsius, so Fahrenheit minus 32 equals 1.8 times 23. So if you took the Fahrenheit would be 1.8 times 23, and then make sure you add the 32, because you added 32 on this side, crossed it off. Okay, anyway, 55 miles an hour we said there. We want to convert that into kilometers. So if we look at our calculator, 55, oops, what happened to our calculator? 55, and we're going to convert that into kilometers. If you notice here, miles to kilometers is conversion number 7. So on our calculator, 07, and we get about 88.5. Now the other thing we could do is we could just take 55 and then multiply by 1.609344. That's this number right here, and we would still get the same answer. In Canada, this picture is of the speed limit in Canada. We want to know what that would be in miles per hour. So on our calculator, we would get 100. Now we're going the other way though, shift conversions, and if you notice, we're going from kilometers to miles, so that's conversion number 8. And we get kilometers to miles comes out to be about 62. Oops, wrong spot. 62 miles per hour. Okay, at a doctor's office, your patient is 1.54 meters tall and has a mass of 55 kilograms. We want that height in inches. Well, if you notice here, we can go from meters to feet. Okay? We can't go from meters to inches. So let's change that meters into feet first. What was it? 1.54. So we would take 1.54, shift conversion. What was it, number 4? Is that meters to feet? Yep. And then once we got that answer, we could just multiply it by 12, and that would be how many inches it is, which I'm going to just write it to the nearest inch. The other way that you can do it is, if you notice here, it says you can take the height in meters, 1.54, and then times 100, because that's how many centimeters there are in a meter, times 2.54. I'm sorry, it's divided by 2.54, because that's how many centimeters there are in an inch. Oh, sorry, 1 inch. Okay, next one, convert her, oh, did I do that one yet? Yeah. Convert her weight in kilograms to pounds. Well, on our calculator, we would put in 55. That's her weight in kilograms. And we want to convert that to pounds. Kilograms to pounds is number 24. And kilograms to pounds tells us it's about 121 pounds. Now, the other way to do that one would be to take the weight in kilograms, 55 kilograms, times 1 over 0.453594. That's this conversion right here. Remember, that's kilograms in kilograms. Then we can cancel our kilograms. Or you could just press 55 divided by 0.54359. Either way, you will get the correct answer. You apply for a job with the FBI and with the Canadian Mounties. Record your height and weight for each of these using the units that they desire. Well, for me, I'm 72 inches tall and I weigh 188 pounds. So I would just do those two conversions. And if you notice, the way I could do them in Excel. I'm going to do it in Excel this time rather than using the calculator. So I'm going to take my height in inches, and if you notice, it's 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So I'm going to multiply that by 12, because that'll be, I'm sorry, not multiply by 12, divide that by 12, because that'll be my height in feet, and then multiply that by 2.54. What did I do wrong? Oh, I'm sorry, divide that by 2.54. What did I do wrong? G32. I'll do it the other way around. I'm going to multiply that by my height in inches times 2.54 divided by 100, because that switches it back into centimeters, and then I get the right answer. Same thing for weight. I take my weight in pounds, okay, and since 1 pound is 0.4535924 kilograms, if I want to convert that into kilograms, excuse me, I'm going to have to multiply it by that number, 0.4535924, and I get, what is that? My weight in kilograms. Next. Actually, though, the US and SI systems differ in the quantities they measure. Mass is the amount of matter an object has. Weight is the measure of the pull of gravity. So to convert her weight into newtons, you need to take the weight in kilograms, 55, and multiply it by 1 kilogram is 9.8 newtons, so multiply it by 9.8, and that will be her weight in newtons. Same thing for your mass in slugs. You know your weight, which for me was 188 pounds, and then you divide that by 32.174, because that's how many pounds there are in a slug. Today the price of gas is 3.749 per gallon. What would that be per liter? So what we can do on our calculator is to use the fraction key. 3.749, that's how many dollars it was per 1 gallon. But we want to convert that gallon into liters. Well, if you notice here, gallons US to liters is number 13. So I'm going to use conversion number 13, and I have gallons US to liters, and I find out it's about 99 cents a liter. Okay? On a trip to Canada, you see the sign that says full service 110.9. Now that means 110.9 per liter. Right now, 1 US dollar is a Canadian dollar times 1.31. So to do this conversion, we're going to start with the Canadian dollar 1.109, that's in dollars and cents rather than just cents, per liter. We want to know what that would be in gallons. So we want the final answer to be in dollars per gallon. Okay, we want dollars on the top and gallons on the bottom. Well, the first conversion factor is we want to switch the Canadian dollar into the US dollar. Now, a Canadian dollar, it says here, 1 US dollar is 1.31 Canadian dollars. And then we have one more conversion factor. I'm going to switch to blue. So now, 1 liter, or I'm sorry, 1 gallon, according to our conversion chart, it says here 1 gallon US is 3.785412. Is 3. Oops, what happened to my? Is 3.785412. So now when I press that on my calculator, I'm going to press the $10.9 or 1.109. Since this is on the bottom, I'm going to divide by 1.31. Since this is on the top, I'm going to multiply by 3.785412. And then I'm going to write that answer down here in the blank. Okay, so let's see here. So it equals 1.109 divided by 1.31 times 3. I forgot what that last number was. 785412. All right, so we're looking to fill our 20-gallon tank. So we're going to take the price per gallon, which is $1.10.9 times 20 gallons, because we want to buy all 20 gallons, times the size of a liter. And if you remember, it says there are 3.785412 liters in a gallon. So we're going to multiply that by 3.785412. That will be our amount of Canadian dollars to fill a 20-gallon tank. Let's go on. You and your buddy want to compare pickups. He has a Dodge 5.7-liter Hemi. You drive a Ford F-150 with a 330 cubic inch. So your Dodge is his Dodge is 5.7 liters. Your Ford is 330 cubic inches. Okay, we want to compare those two. So we need to switch the Dodge into cubic inches. So on our we can just do it in here. Equals the 5.7 times the size of a cubic inch, which is 61.0237441. Same thing with the size of the Ford. We're going to start with the 330, and we're going to divide by 61.0237441. And that'll be the correct answer there. Next one, your Ford is a 230 horsepower, and his Dodge is 257 kilowatts. Okay, so we have to switch those two around. Since 1 horsepower is 0.7, okay, you're starting with 257 kilowatts. And it says 1 horsepower over 0.7457 kilowatts. Notice we have this so that we can cancel the kilowatts. So it's going to be 257. The 257 divided by the 0.7457. On the other side, since the 230 is in horsepower, we're going to take the horsepower, 230, times 0.7457 kilowatts. And if you notice, we then have all the points. Your answer is going to be right here because somehow the wrong answer got filled in. But that's all you have to do for the lab, and then just turn it in. Okie dokie.